Okay, so it seems like we finally have an update on Anny. Now, obviously, if you guys don't know, we've been talking about Anny quite a bit, obviously, as she's been on a bit of a hiatus recently over a range of things that obviously she was struggling with. And yeah, she obviously voiced those. We covered a whole video on exactly why she left. But it seems like now Anny is back and is back to streaming literally just a couple of hours ago, which is absolutely great to see. And she actually went live and had a little bit of a conversation about it all, which I kind of wanted to cover and keep you guys up to date with everything that she's up to so you guys can go and support her. Now, obviously, we covered this a couple of weeks ago, obviously, of her talking about the fact that she will be returning to streaming soon. Said, I don't know what this arc is going to be, but I definitely will need to get used to this again. It was a privilege to step back and work on my mental health, and I want to give back a lot of fun and love. And then obviously today she actually posted this with just twitch.tv/Anny with just a picture of her model. Now, obviously, she went live and started talking. She's actually still currently live right now, which is really great to see. And obviously, she started talking about, why she decided to go live and why it's been so long and things like that. Now, obviously, she mentioned a lot of, obviously, sadder things. For example, the fact that she felt quite lonely and, obviously going live makes her feel, less lonely, obviously, with chat and everything there to kind of support her, which I think is great. And honestly, I think a lot of streamers do benefit from just going live. Just going live sometimes does really help out. I mean, sometimes for some people it doesn't, for some people it does. And obviously, yeah, if you're struggling with a bit of loneliness, chat can really help in terms of just like having a little bit of an interaction. Now, yeah, obviously the stream did start off very sad. There's a little bit of, crying and stuff going on, which was sad to see. But obviously she talked about the fact that, she just felt like she had to go live due to the fact of apparently things just kept on happening and pushing back, when she wanted to stream. Obviously, as we know, this initial message of her saying that she's going to be returning was at the start of the month, and now it's the end of the month. And obviously she says like some things just kept happening, which, obviously kept pushing it back and pushing it back. She didn't want it to be pushed back anymore. I just kind of wanted to kind of get her foot in the door in terms of streaming, which again, I think is great. And obviously it is probably one of the best moves for her because again, sometimes stuff like that does happen. Like I totally get what she means there by that. Sometimes you plan on coming back to something after a long time and you have this big plan and then something else just kind of hits you and it's just like, oh my God, do I have to push this back even further? And it just keeps happening. Again, it is one of these things that happens and I can totally understand the kind of position that she is in at the moment. But obviously, as well, she started talking about some other things. For example, like she doesn't really know exactly how frequent it's going to be and how long she's going to be streaming for, at least in the beginning, while she just tries to get a kind of, hold on streaming again. Because again, obviously, whenever you've been on hiatus for quite a while, sometimes it can be a little bit overwhelming and sometimes it can be a little bit of a struggle to kind of build up that streaming kind of, like stamina. Like for me, for example, like I don't stream because I just cannot keep up that stamina. I don't know how a lot of people do it. But again, whenever I used to stream, right, sometimes, it'd be so much easier for me to stream if I was streaming like every single day. But as soon as I took like a week break and came back, it became instantly 10 times harder. It became harder to just keep a conversation, harder to keep on talking, harder to keep on communicating with the chat, right? And it just became 10 times harder whenever you take a break. So I couldn't even imagine what this long of a break obviously does in terms of just like stream stamina and keeping up. But obviously she said, oh, maybe I'll go live for like an hour or something. She didn't really know today. But, as of now, she's been streaming for about 2.5 hours. So, again, obviously, it has been going pretty well for her, which is really great to see because obviously it seems like chat is, keeping her entertained. She seems to be in good spirits now. And I'm glad that obviously this has provided a good experience for her so far because, again, obviously, many people want her to be okay, and obviously she's been struggling with some stuff, obviously, behind the scenes. So again, just to come back to streaming and to kind of give her a good time back onto stream, it's really great. And obviously, in terms of analytics and things, Anny has been doing absolutely crazy and doing insane. Obviously, her last stream was back in July 12th. And then before that, it was April. So again, she's been, she literally just had like a quick stream back for like one day. But it seems like she will be back a little bit more consistently now. Again, obviously, with it being a little bit rocky at the start. But you can see here, she's got 3.9 thousand max viewers so far, which is pretty much exactly the same amount of viewers that she was getting before her break, which I think is great because obviously it means that, you know, her audience hasn't gone anywhere. They haven't just all of a sudden just like left due to the fact that she wasn't streaming as much, which I think is great. And I think that it's great that the audience has stuck around, the audience has come back, and hopefully that will stay up for all the future streams as well, because I know that she is such a big part of VTubing. You know, for example, you know, she's done so much stuff in terms of Neurosama. You know, recently I've made a ton of videos on Neurosama and Vidor and people like that, and interacting with the canvas. And, you know, I didn't realize how much of an impact she had in terms of kind of making her model and everything like that. It was pretty cool to see. And also on the topic of making a model, Anny did mention that she does actually have a new model planned. So again, that is something to look forward to if you are an Anny fan and you are looking forward to some of her future streams. She says that she has all the art done. She just needs to get it rigged now, which obviously might take a little bit of time. But it seems like she wants to do a proper debut for that model. So that is something that you can be looking forward to as she continues to stream. And it's obviously a good thing to look forward to for her as well, because again, just having any kind of goal as a streamer or a VTuber, it's really good to get yourself back on track in terms of consistency and in terms of just kind of scheduling things out and getting things just kind of back on track. You know, having that kind of goal, that kind of thing of, hey, you know, I got a VTuber debut or VTuber model debut coming up, you know, let's just keep streaming and try to get as much hype for that. You know, obviously that is probably what's going to be best. And as you can see here, literally as I am talking right now, they're getting a hype train going. You know, this is how excited people are for Anny to be back. She's hitting like 4,000 viewers right now, although it's like right underneath my camera. You know, she's getting a huge hype train, tons of followers, tons of kind of subs right now. So it seems like the support is really there for her at the moment. And obviously, I really do hope that she continues to stream, because I think she is a great streamer. I think that she does a great job at what she does, and she has a great personality in terms of just kind of, you know, general content. I think she's actually a genuinely entertaining VTuber. You know, there's many, you know, creators and streamers out there. I struggle to watch a lot of streamers for like a while, because again, they're not just as entertaining. But there's obviously a select few, and I think Anny is part of that few, which I'm like, I can actually watch this for quite a while. Like, she's actually got a fun personality, a kind of interesting one, and just something that I, you know, really do enjoy. So I'm hoping that obviously she does stick around for a little bit longer. But obviously as well, people have been very kind and kind of understanding in terms of, you know, she also needs her space. So obviously, you know, if she does need a little bit more of a break, a little bit more of a pause or whatever, then obviously we can then go and, you know, just kind of support her while that is going on. And then obviously after that, you know, hopefully things can be all good. But everyone in chat while she's talking right at the start of stream about, you know, a lot of the issues and stuff, and how she felt like she obviously let down a lot of people by not coming back so soon. Obviously, you know, hopefully she does kind of, you know, take a lot of that kind of understanding into account, because again, all the chat were very understanding and being like, it's okay, you know, we don't mind if you have to leave for a little bit, or we don't mind if you need another break or whatever, because again, you know, it all takes kind of a lot of steps. So it seems like as well, she's talking about the fact that, you know, obviously things have been good on the first kind of stream. A lot of people were putting lubbers in chat, which obviously it seems like they're having a lot of wholesome moments too with their streamer. But again, obviously I do think that is really great to see. Again, obviously if you're an Anny fan, this is big news for you, and also big news for me, because again, I do really like Anny as a VTuber. But again, you can see the hype train going absolutely crazy right now, and that just kind of summarizes how the return for Anny has kind of happened. So yeah, just to kind of summarize, Anny is back, at least for now. Obviously, we don't really know how often she's going to stream or how long for, but again, it does seem like she is trying to put her foot back into streaming again. She's got a new model planned. A lot of the community are being supportive and sending a ton of subs for a hype train, and that is essentially it. All good for Anny at the moment, and hopefully we can see her even more. But yeah, that's all I got for this video. If you guys did enjoy it, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. Also, go to Game Subs, use my code Kazza, get 10% off. Again, they got a ton of really cool stuff over there. I definitely recommend checking it out. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.